the Buccaneers defeat the Eagles 28-22. The Buccaneers dominated the whole game, and at the end, the Eagles made it kind of close, made it a little bit interesting. Made you had to finish the game because the Eagles. It looked like you could have just ended going into the fourth quarter. At the end of the third quarter, it looked like you could have just not watched the fourth. But the Eagles, to their credit, to Nick Sirianni's credit, they played hard. They didn't give up. They played to the end, and they made it a game, 28-22. Buccaneers, obviously, they look good. They look great. Antonio Brown is starting to look like his old self, which should scare the rest of the NFL. Tom Brady's talking about playing until he's 50, 55, which is just ridiculous. TB12 looks like, he has the fountain of youth with TB12. Like I said, Godwin, Mike Evans, Fournette is looking good. He's getting touchdowns. He's getting yards. So the Buccaneers, man, they look dangerous. They look like they're scary. They look like the best team in the NFC and the top 3, top 4, maybe even the best team in the NFL. And the Eagles have Jalen Hurts running, getting some running touchdowns, looking inaccurate, kind of taking too long to throw the ball. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I saw too. I could see it in my eyes. Like, yeah, I see where people are coming from. Jalen Hurts needs to work on his accuracy. He needs to make decisions a little bit quicker. He can't stare down his wide receivers like he does sometimes. But I will say this. I think Nick Sirianni is not helping him out with the play calling, with the game plan. I think they need to run Miles Sanders more. Obviously, that's a point of emphasis that a lot of people have been saying for the Eagles these first 6 weeks of the season. Like, Miles Sanders is a quality running back. That line is decent enough to, get the run game going. Obviously, against the Buccaneers, it makes sense why you wouldn't run too much because they have like an all-time great run defense. But I think when you have Jalen Hurts and his limitations, he's not the most accurate. He's still, working to be a quality NFL quarterback. He stares down wide receivers sometimes. He takes too long to make some reads. You got to help him out. You can't have him there throwing the ball every single time when you're his deficiencies. Like, we as fans of the NFL, like, I'm not even an Eagles fan, but I've seen enough Eagles game matches to see, like, okay, yeah, he struggles with his accuracy. He struggles with, making quick decisions. He struggles, when he has to, go through his progressions. We all can see that. So obviously Nick Sirianni sees that. So for him to be averaging 35 attempts per game in the first 6 games of the season, I think that's just terrible game planning by the Eagles. It's terrible. They're kind of setting him up to not be good. And I think that sucks for Jalen Hurts because he's a great running quarterback. He's fast, he's quick. And if he ever matures as a passer, if he ever gets a little bit more accurate, if he starts to progress, then just by the sheer ability of that his legs have, he could be a top 10 quarterback, top 15, top 12. Like, he has the potential to really be not just a great fantasy quarterback, because I have him in fantasy and he's been great. He's been putting up points, but he has the potential to be a great quarterback too, in my opinion. But I go back to Nick Sirianni because Lamar Jackson, he just had a great game against the Colts. It looked like he's finally getting it together. He's finally becoming a great pocket passer. He could bring you back with his arm. He's just crossing off all the negative things that people have to say about him. Can't throw on the pocket. Can't bring a team down more than 14. Can't beat the Chiefs. He's just crossing them all off. Like, what are you saying? Like, look at me do this. Averaging more than 300 yards per game. Still rushing, still being a dual threat. So Lamar Jackson, what is this? His year 4? I remember that playoff game against the Chargers his rookie year. Very limited. Playbook was short and simple. Run the ball. Run Lamar Jackson. Quick passes, slants, bootlegs. They helped him out. And it was evident because his rookie year, the most attempts he ever had, if you guys remember, he took over for Joe Flacco. I believe it was like week 8 or week 9. The most attempts he had in those 7 or 8 games that he started was 25. 25 attempts was the most he threw. He averaged 22.5 attempts his rookie year, which just goes to show the coach that Harbaugh is, the foundation, the great franchise that the Ravens are. Got to give them a shout out. They protected him. They kind of coddled him a little bit, but it's fine. When you're trying to get your quarterback, you're trying to get their feet wet. You don't want them to lose their confidence, because for quarterbacks, confidence is like one of the most important things, and it's hard to get your confidence back, because unlike other positions, like, okay, if you lose your confidence as a wide receiver, you go down to wide receiver 4. You still go out there sometimes. Wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 goes down. Boom, you're in. For quarterbacks, you mess up, you lose your confidence. Next guy's coming in, you're getting benched. And if that guy never gets hurt, it's only one person. If he stays healthy, you never get another chance. You're looked at as a quarterback that couldn't throw. So this is back to my point. 35 attempts for Jalen Hurts per game. That's ridiculous. His second year when he won the MVP, Lamar Jackson averaged 26 attempts his second year. That was his average. And he was a limited passer at that time. But the Ravens, their offensive coordinator, they knew what he could do. They adjusted their game plan, and it worked for them. And the Eagles, they're playing from behind, so that kind of ties into it. But still, 35 attempts per game for Jalen Hurts, when we know he's not the most accurate, when we know he's a great runner. I think a different coach could be getting more out of Jalen Hurts. And like I said, the offense didn't look good with Carson Wentz the last 2 years. It's looked iffy at best with Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts is doing a lot for this offense. He's scoring rushing touchdowns. He's running the ball. He's throwing it. He showed promise against the Panthers. His accuracy, although he still looks inaccurate, his passing accuracy has gone up like 10%. So he's shown improvement. But my fear for Jalen Hurts is, the Eagle fans, Philadelphia, they have tough fans. If Sirianni doesn't change the game plan, if he doesn't run Miles Sanders, if Jalen Hurts keeps attempting 35 passes per game, I think it could get to a point this season where they might want to look somewhere else. They might want to check out Minshew, which is sad because Minshew's not going to do nothing for them. Minshew magic, he's cool, he's dope. I love the mustache, his personality's dope. But, I mean, he showed some promise with the Jaguars, so I don't want to say he can't do anything. But, it's obvious that Jalen Hurts has way more potential. And if you change the game plan, if you don't let him throw that much, if you give him a couple years to work on it, I'm not saying he's going to become Lamar Jackson, but even if he improves a little bit his passing, if he just becomes a decent passer with those legs, with that running ability, he could be something special. So, like I said, Sirianni needs to get it together. His press conferences still don't inspire anybody. He still looks like he's kind of lost. His game plan is wild. But we'll see. If any Eagles fans are listening to this, I'm curious to see what do you guys think about Jalen Hurts. Because I've seen some YouTube videos, I've seen some comments, and people are already, damn, we traded Carson Wentz for this bum or stuff like that. I think this has more to do with Nick Sirianni than Jalen Hurts, but that might just be me.